Hey everyone, what's up? How's it going? Today we're going to be cleaning out Bodacious enclosure. It's a 10-gallon glass aquarium, and I'm going to show how I have it set up. And also, it'll be towards the end of the video, I'm going to show you how I've stabilized the humidity levels in a glass tank. And also, we're going to be doing a little bit of an upgrade, because as you can see right now, you can see straight through it. So I have some black foam board. We're going to block off 3 sides of it, and I'll explain, why I'm going to do that, once we get to that part. So for right now, I'm going to get to removing her from her enclosure and putting her in a small 5-gallon holding tank, with some newspaper and stuff, to keep her while I, get to work on cleaning up her tank and her hides and her water bowl and all that. When you go to clean out any of their enclosures, hides, water bowls, whatever, use Blue Dawn. Stay away from the antibacterial. There are chemicals in antibacterial soaps that will harm your reptile. So, I usually just get the little bottle of Blue Dawn, and that's what I use to wash the tank, the water bowl, the hides, everything. So. And just rinse it off really good with water, make sure there's no residue, and you're good to go. So I'm going to get to work, and I'm going to go ahead and get her out and get her transferred over to the small holding tank so I can get to work on her enclosure. Alright, so right here we have a 5-gallon glass tank that I'm just using as a holding tank. Ideally, of course, you would not want to use this as a permanent enclosure, but as just a tank to hold her for 15, 20 minutes, half hour, however long it takes to clean up the main enclosure. It's fine. And she got like a little bit of newspaper in there and all, and I need to get the lid and put it on there. But yeah, just for like 20 minutes or half hour, it's this is fine. While we get her main enclosure cleaned out. So now that we got everything in here cleaned out, all the substrate's gone, I took her hides out. I just wanted to show you that over to one side I do have a heat mat, and this here is the probe to the thermostat that's down there that is currently unplugged. So, but yeah, I have my hotspot over here, and I'm showing you this now because this will come into play later when I show you, how I'm setting up the inside of her enclosure and why I have it set up the way that I do. So here we go, we got the tank all cleaned out, so nice and shiny. Now for the upgrade part, I have this black foam board that I'm going to put, this is the back piece that's going to go on the back of the tank. Also have the 2 side pieces on the floor, but to hold it on just to begin with, I took a piece of regular clear boxing tape and I folded it over backwards to create a double-sided tape, and then stuck it on here and just spread the edges out, to create 4 sticky patches. So what we're going to do is I want to get the top lined up, so I'm trying to do all this one-handed. Let's see here. I think we're good. And there we go. And just go ahead and we'll press in on the tape to make sure it sticks to the glass. And there we go. And what I'll probably do is on the back side here, try to get you a view here, right here where it meets the black rim, I'll probably take another strip of boxing tape and tape it right along the sides, not careful not to bring it over the top. But I'm just going to probably put another strip of black tape back through here to hold that top on real good. And of course we got the sides done the same way. And we just want to kind of make sure There we go. Yeah, if the video seems a little, not pointed in the right direction, I do apologize. I'm basically recording this with my phone, and I'm holding the phone with one hand and try to get these panels on the other, so I can try to show you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. But yeah, on the outside, yeah, that looks really good. And this not poster board, this foam board you can buy down at Walmart. And the Walmart I went to, they had big sheets of this for about $3 a piece. Yeah, that's all my thermostat stuff and the weights I use for the lid on the floor. But yeah, that gives you an idea of how big the piece is. I had to buy 2 of them, so it cost me $6. Just because once I got done cutting out the back piece, these were just slightly not quite wide enough, to make the last 2 cuts. So I had to have another piece to do the sides. So now I have some scrap pieces left over for other projects, maybe if I need a scrap piece for something. So, but yeah, I'm trying to put the clean edges facing out. The rough edges, it doesn't matter if the edges are a little rough, it's going to be on the outside of the tank, so the snake's not going to come in contact with it anyway. So, but I'm trying to put the clean edges facing out. Here we go. Trying to get there's a piece of silicone sealer in the way right there. So yeah, we'll just go with it. And the reason that I'm doing this is it encloses the inside to where the ball python does not feel so exposed. If it's out in the wide open, it will stress them out because they may be worried about predators or whatever. They don't like being in open spaces. So this foam board actually serves 2 purposes. One, to close it in to make the ball python feel more secure, and it's foam board, so therefore it also doubles as insulation for your tank, and it helps it hold heat a little better. So now the next part, we're going to move on to the substrate that I use. Now on the substrate, I usually use ZooMed, but I decided to give this one a try. It's not bad, but the ZooMed seems to be chopped a little finer, so I'm not really sure which one I really like better as of yet. But this does hold humidity pretty well. But this is cypress bedding. So some people use aspen. I don't care for aspen. It depends on where you live and what your humidity is like. If you live in a very humid area, aspen bedding would probably be okay because it's rather kind of a dry bedding. But if you live in a dry area and you're trying to keep your humidity levels up, then you might want to consider cypress because it holds humidity pretty well. So what we'll do is dump a decent bit of this in. Need about maybe overall about maybe like about a good inch or so. Because ball pythons do not burrow, so they don't need a really deep substrate. So yeah, this is like right. Try to get a far away shot here, but yeah, you see there. It's not deep. Yeah, actually, I could stand to put a little bit more in, which I probably will. Come on, get back in the bag. So spread this around. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Now, the cypress does hold humidity very well. But this next part, this is how I maintain humidity in a glass tank. Alright, now how I maintain humidity in a glass tank is I take some water. Depending on the size of the tank will depend how much water you put in. Just if you're not sure, just start with a little bit, you know, like maybe like so. And there's already going to be a little bit of moisture. There's already going to be a little bit of moisture in the bedding to begin with, so keep that in mind. And then you're going to take both your hands and you're going to stir it up to where there's no water left on the bottom glass. And what you do is you want it moist, but you don't want it soaked. Because, you know, if the substrate gets too wet, it can cause scale rot. And you definitely do not want that. So, but you know, just get it nice and moist. And you know, the humidity level will spike up into about 80 to maybe low 80s, like 80 to 83, for like the first about 2 days. And it's fine. It's not gonna, you know, for that short a period of time, it's not gonna hurt your snake. Just make sure that your temperatures are correct. So, you know, make sure it's not too hot or whatever. So, but yeah, let's see here. I can probably stand just a touch more. You see, not much. And I'm going to do it again. Mix it all up. Make sure all that, you know, make sure the water gets evenly distributed and soaked up by the substrate. And that feels really good right there. That's moist, but it's not soaking. And you know, just make sure it's not too. Just make sure it's not like wet. You just want it like a little moist. Yeah, I wish I could be more descriptive on that, but that's all I really know to tell you is just a little moist, just not like, you know, just not sopping wet. So just a little moist, and there we go. So that feels really good right there. And there's some like moss and stuff in this. That's another reason I don't like this particular substrate too much. It's because I gotta pick this stuff out. I mean, I don't think it'd hurt the snake, but yeah, I don't like taking chances. So, all right, so there we have it. Just make sure that the substrate is, you know, leveled out pretty well, and your hands are going to get, you know, kind of nasty. So, all the joys of owning a reptile. So we got almost everything back in the tank. We got the rock hide and the water dish, and the only thing left to go back in is this. Now, this is not a real log hide. It's not made of wood. This is ceramic. And you can tell by if I get the camera to focus, you can see the patterning on both the bark part and what's supposed to be the wood part, and that definite separation line. Yeah, this is manufactured. This is made from ceramic and painted. So, but it does look very real. Now, you don't want to stick a real wood hide in with a ball python because of the level of humidity that you need to keep in the tank. The level of humidity should be at 60% humidity, you know, under normal conditions. Now, if your snake is under shed, you can take it up to about 70. So, but that's still, you know, a lot of humidity, and that will cause wood to mold eventually. And that is also not good for the health of your ball python. So, yeah, you really want to stay away from anything that's real wood. You know, like they do sell, you know, I got this, you know, at a pet store, and I looked it over and seen it was ceramic, but it looks like wood. So you can buy stuff that looks like wood, and it's still safe for your snake. So, and actually, this is her favorite hide, believe it or not. You know, she does still use this hide, and this, you know, from when I had the substrate out of the tank, I showed the top-down view, and this is where the heat mat is. So this is where my hot spot is for when, after she eats, she can come in here and get into this hot spot that's being created by the heat mat, which is on a operational thermostat, and the hot spot I have set to about 90 degrees. Now I just put it all back together, so it's probably not up to temp in here yet, but I do have, this gun, and right now it's 71 degrees in there. So, but over the course of, like tomorrow, I'm definitely going to check this again and see, because it says 90 on the thermostat, but it's not necessarily going to be 90 in here, but it's going to take a while for the heat to come through. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the setup. That's why I have this set up the way I do. There's not a lot of room in a 10-gallon tank. I do have the sides blocked off now, 3 sides. I left the front open, and I think it looks, really good. And this will also give her a better sense of security, and will also help to hold the heat in the tank a little better. Now, the only thing missing from the interior setup is technically you'd want to have some brush or some fake, some fake brush or something in here, to create more coverage. But in a 10-gallon tank, there is really just no room. So you see what little bit of room here she has to come out, and here's her little running area, and then she can go in here. Otherwise, she can, get up on the top of the rock or whatever. So now, as far as the rest of the setup goes, I have this thermometer and hydrometer. It's a 2-in-1, and I put it down in here because the thing is, if you kick this back leg out and you set it down somewhere, the snake can actually run through the back of that leg and get caught up in it. So that's not good. So I just push that in, and for right now, I just put it down there, and I can monitor the temp and the humidity. So now the surface hotspot is over here. I'm going to go ahead and get the lid, put the lid on, and you see how I have the lid cut out. I have this spot here open right over the water dish. And then we're going to take our this heat lamp. You notice inside I do not have a light emitting bulb. This is a ceramic heat emitter, otherwise known as a CHE. It does not emit any light. And because ball pythons don't like a lot of light, it stresses them out. Now, as far as this heat lamp goes, with the CHE that's in it, stick that there. I got a heat lamp assembly that has a built-in dimmer switch. That's actually very important, and right now I need to actually just turn it on because we just got everything back together, and I crank it up all the way, then I back it off just a little, about maybe 1/8 of a turn. So, and I just put it over the hole like this, right over the water, and it also causes the water to evaporate a little bit, also creating some more humidity. The humidity actually is going to start building up in this tank. It'll probably get around about between 80 to 83 for a couple of days. And after that, it'll gradually drop down to about mid to low 60s. And usually it bottoms out right about 60 to 63, and it'll stay there for a good while. And in between, if it drops anything less than 55, you can always, just take everything out really quick and just pour a little bit more water in and mix it up again, and it'll be good for a good while, for a good while longer. So, but yeah, that is the setup. All right, so that's about it. We have Bodacia here getting ready to go back into her enclosure and all, and it's nice and clean. And tomorrow is going to be feeding day, so tomorrow I'm going to drop in a mouse for her and let her have a meal. So, but other than that, like I said, with as small as this 10-gallon tank is, there's not really much more I can really do with it, considering where I have the heating pad and all that. So that's why I have the heat emitter sitting where I do. In actuality, it should be over to one side. So you have a warm spot and a cool spot. Now, just in spite of the fact that I have it in the back center, underneath that log, it generally stays in the 70s, like 78. Your cool spot, you want it to be about 80, and your hot spot around about 90. So Some people go a little bit more, just really just depends. But yeah, it's about 78 in the log, so she can still get into a cool area to cool down and keep her body temperature in regulation. Oh, okay, yeah, she's trying to set her down without dunking her into the water. And there we go. Yeah. So I just want to be careful with her and make sure I don't drop her or anything like that. And there she goes. She's gone right back in. She's gone back into her favorite spot, which is the log hide. Well, the hide that looks like a log anyway. So, but yeah, like I said, that's her favorite spot to be. But other than that, yeah, that is my setup, and that's how I keep humidity stabilized in a glass tank. And now I've kind of taken another step up, and I've gotten 3 sides blacked out like it's supposed to be, for both her feeling of security and for holding in a little bit more of the warmth. So, but yeah, that's all I got for this one. I hope you found this informative and helpful. And until the next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.